This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
The council chambers inside Wenatchee City Hall were still flickering with activity after the close of business on Friday.
Grant County Fire District 13 has debuted a new tender thanks to a grant from the Paul Lozier Foundation. Grant County Sheriff's Office Marine deputies will be out July 5th through 7th looking for impaired boaters as part of a nationwide event.
Starting July 8th, Washington state, federal, and tribal agencies will again partner to move a batch of mountain goats from Olympic National Park.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News. And it starts now.
The council chambers inside Wenatchee City Hall were still flickering with activity after the close of business on Friday. The venue played host to a special forum regarding fire preparedness in north central Washington, featuring the state's 8th District Representative Kim Schreier, who arranged the gathering to assist in imparting valuable Firewise information to the public and collecting their input on ways she might be able to help in the halls of Congress.
Some of the purpose of today's meeting was for me to learn, but the really big emphasis of today's meeting was to convene the experts so that the community can learn. And so I am hoping that everybody here will leave with a sense of what their own personal responsibility is, because our fighter fires can only go so far and our communities can only do so much, and then we all have to take some degree of personal responsibility to limit the scope of a disaster before state or federal government can even step in.
In addition to Schreier, who served primarily as a moderator, the conference also included a panel of professionals who work closely with issues related to wildfire at both the local and national level, including John Sokich, Congressional Affairs Director with the National Weather Service, who shared details about some of the burgeoning technology his office is now using to help detect fire starts from high above the earth.
We just launched a new satellite, became operational in March of this year. It's providing us incredible views of the atmosphere, and down to the clouds that form the thunderstorms that can produce the lightning that can cause the wildfires, to the detection of those wildfires from space from 23,000 miles above the Earth.
Sokich went on to provide the specifics of a recent incident detailing how the new detection equipment is already producing remarkable results.
Last week in Denver, Colorado, the building was on fire. We were able to see it on the satellite before Twitter had it. In downtown Denver. Wow.
Along with the fascinating and encouraging briefing from Sokich, the meeting also featured an overview of forest management practices by Deputy Fire Staffer Matt Castle of the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest, and an address by Lake Wenatchee Fire Chief Mick Lamar, who spoke about the importance of communication and being prepared for wildfire both before and after it happens.
Now, we had an event last weekend in Plain where they had 2,300 campers come to an area to celebrate Overland Rally, they call it. That was enough people that shut our cell towers down. And so we were not able to reach out 911 to anyone. And so you can only imagine if we had a serious fire, but that puts everybody on a cell phone again, that locks down the system. So you have to have some alternative means to communicate, and you need to have some ways to take care of yourself while this event's happening. You can't just wait till after the fire's over and say, what do we do? Ask those folks in Pateros when it burned through there. Ask what happened to them. I mean, you're standing in the dust and the ashes and trying to figure out where you're going to live, where your kid's going to go to school. There's no water in the sink. There's no power in the switch. So it takes a collaborative effort all the way from Washington, D.C. down to you sitting in your seats there to make sure that we take care of ourselves.
Following the expert presentations, the panel fielded questions from the audience before adjourning the session, leaving everyone who was in attendance better informed and prepared for what they were all no doubt individually praying will be a quiet year for large and devastating wildfires. Reporting for iFIBER 1 News, I'm Chris Hansen.
This segment is brought to you by...
Change doesn't have to be complicated. With a low-profile microwave hood combination that's ready to install right out of the box. It fits in the same space as your under-cabinet hood, so you can get your microwave off the countertop and make space for the routines worth keeping. The low-profile microwave hood combination, from the #1 selling appliance brand in the USA.
Whirlpool Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
Grant County Fire District 13 has debuted a new tender thanks to a grant from the Paul Lozier Foundation. The fire district was awarded an $86,500 grant to construct the tactical tender, specifically designed to traverse rocky and difficult terrain typical with wildfires in Grant County. Fire Chief Jim Stuckey says the new apparatus would not have been possible without the support from the Paul Lozier Foundation. The fire district purchased a surplus military 5-ton chassis for $800. A manufacturer then constructed the tender, which took about 6 months to complete. Fire District 13 firefighters added the finishing touches to Tender 1335, which includes a 2,000-gallon tank, a pump capable of 250 gallons per minute at 100 psi, a front-mounted remote nozzle, 700 feet of hose, 100 feet of booster line, and drafting capabilities to fill the tank from natural and man-made water sources. The new tender allows firefighters to take an aggressive approach to attacking fires and better access to the blaze to stop or slow it before it impacts homes, crops, or livestock. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by...
Your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
Grant County Sheriff's Office Marine deputies will be out July 5th through 7th looking for impaired boaters as part of a nationwide event. Law enforcement agencies across the country are patrolling bodies of water during Operation Dry Water, a campaign geared toward raising awareness of the dangers of boating under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Sheriff's Office officials say anyone found to be boating under the influence can expect severe penalties, and if a boat operator is intoxicated, the boat could be impounded and the operator arrested. The state's boating under the influence law, which makes it illegal to operate a boat with a blood alcohol content level of 0.08 or higher, applies to all boats, including kayaks, canoes, rowboats, and inflatable fishing rafts. Boating under the influence is a gross misdemeanor that carries a maximum fine of $5,000 or up to 364 days in jail. More information on the national campaign can be found at operationdrywater.org. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
Call it Operation Goat Grabber Part 2. Starting July 8th, Washington state, federal, and tribal agencies will again partner to move a batch of mountain goats from Olympic National Park to the Cascade Range. It's the second time State Fish and Wildlife, the National Park Service, and the U.S. Forest Service have conducted such a translocation, as they call it. Last September, wildlife agents tranquilized, captured, and airlifted 115 goats from the Olympics, where they are not native, to their typical home range in the North Cascades. This time there will be 2 translocation periods, July 8th through 19th and August 19th through 30th. The goats were introduced to the Olympics in the 1920s, but they've proven hard on the landscape there and came into increasing conflict with humans. Meanwhile, the native Cascades population has declined, in part due to hunting. The relocation efforts will eventually place about 625 of the estimated 725 mountain goats back in the Cascades and shoot and kill those that remain in the Olympic Park. Jefferson Robbins, iFIBER 1 News.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.